Okay, I'm making an online video for an Exmark Metro 48-inch deck. It's about 20 years old. It's the walk behind 5-speed with the spindles that are this style spindle in the mower. Types it pops through. It's got a keyway here somewhere. The key, I got this from Tractor Supply if I needed to get a new keyway. It's 3/16 by a quarter. The 1/4 inch fits in there, and then the 3/16 is when the pulley slides down on top of that. This is an Exmark original equipment. You can buy these cheaper ones from Stearns, and Rotary makes them, Oregon makes them. I believe in original equipment. The bearings are better. I think it's probably aircraft aluminum, I would say. I'm not sure what the grade, there's multiple different grades of aluminum that you can make these out of. I'm not sure. I mean, it all depends what you want to do. These are more expensive, but I believe, because I've already replaced a few pulleys on this mower. That one, the belt tensioner engaged pulley I've done, that just rides around. I did all the pulleys. I bought a few Stearns pulleys. They lasted about 1.5 years before they started to make a lot of noise. I thought that sucked, so I just changed the idler pulley for the belt tensioner between the engine and the tranny. I just changed that one there with the where it engages the belt, where the cans are. That's an Exmark pulley. So I'm gonna, my mower, that's a Stearns. It's still working pretty good. They just last longer. I mean, my gosh, all these pulleys lasted to almost 20 years, and then, aftermarket crap. Everything's from freaking China anyway. Anywho, I want to show you how to get these off, because you'll see guys with a big freaking crowbar doing all kinds of damage, trying to pull these off with a pulley, and they bend. These stupid things, and you got to use these ones because they have a set screw in them in the bottom. It's 5. It's this one here. It's a 5. It's a 5/32. The set screws underneath, and you need a long set screw with something to pop it off. I already changed this one, this pulley. That was a bitch to get off. This wasn't too bad. I've already done this one, but I figured if I show you an easy way to get these off, because instead of using I've seen guys with big crowbars bending these things, twisting them, and these are like anywhere between 50 to 60 bucks, and they're made for this. You can't use I thought I could get away with maybe buying these are 6 1/4 if I recall, by 1-inch bore, but the problem is it's the makeup on the bottom. Like you would have to get a spacer if you could find one, but then the keyway goes through. This is the full keyway on this pulley. Anyway, I had to use a torch on the bottom in there, put the blowtorch, or propane torch, the ones with the small cans on canisters. I had a MAP gas one, and while I heated it up, I was spinning it slowly, heating the pulley. You're not going to hurt nothing. There's nothing in there to melt, really. You're getting rid of the bearings below it. There's nothing up here to hurt. So you spin it around, heat it for about 1 minute, and then you get ready to bang it out. But I used, to get this, to drop this, where's that thing at? To drop this spindle out through the bottom of the mower, I used, this is a 5/8 Matco impact socket, It's exactly the same size, and it just fits in there perfectly. Not just to get in there. But you got to be careful. You don't want to go. You can't bang that too far with this, because then that will mushroom inside. So you can give it a few good whacks to start this thing to push down some. But there, don't forget to be a keyway in this thing. Where's the other one? Where's the other keyway? I had another keyway around here somewhere. Where is it? Over there. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, I had another keyway somewhere around here. It was smaller. But anyway, where'd they go? Anyway, this keyway won't pass through. It's going to hit that. It should be a little shorter. This is one I got from Tractor Supply. So pretend the keyway's in there, but it's not there. You only can bang this down so far with this before the keyway starts to get jammed between the socket and the top plate and the bearing. It won't go any farther. So then what I did was to fix that problem. I don't know if you're going to be able to do this, but I had a cutting wheel, with a grinder, right angle grinder with a cutting wheel. I cut a socket with a notch in it, so when I'm banging it down, I'm pushing down the spindle and the keyway is sliding up slowly, because the keyway is hitting that and hitting the top of that bearing. So if you really think about it, it won't pass through. So you'll bang that down. I should have cut this a little bit more. Bang it down, bang it down, bang it down. It's going to slowly come down. Bang it down, you know. With a hammer, I used my old yard hammer here. You know, you get a sledgehammer, small one with a flat face on it, not a round little dinky homeowner hammer. And boom, 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 on top of the socket. Hold it tight. But don't forget, I also sprayed parts blaster into this thing first. So when you take your nut off and your bolts and take the washer and everything else off, and you spray parts blaster in here, if you had some time, I would let it soak for the day on an angle, and it gets into the crevices. It seeps between the spindle and the pulley, because you can see how that rusted was. This was the one that was in there. This is a different spindle I got. This was rusted to this pretty good. So I let it sit there for a day with parts blaster, and then I came by the next day, and what I did is this. You get this one, you put it in there, you hold it, give it a few bangs. Once you're done and you feel it moving, which that just did move, because this has already been done, so this is going to be easy. Here's your keyway there. You line that up right over it, like that, and then you start banging, 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 and next thing you know, off comes the spindle. There's the original keyway. I put never sees in here too, so for that never to happen again. See, that's got that spindle, and it's got the Allen key in there. Set screw. This puts pressure against the spindle. It's the only thing that holds the spindle in, is that Allen key with the keyway. So that's how your spindle comes out. It's the best way that with this socket. Like I said, this is a 3/16 by a 1/4 inch keyway. The 1/4 inch fits in here, like so. Let me get it in there. Hang on for a second. The 1/4 inch fits in there, and the 3/16 wedges between. Actually, that there. So this is the original keyway that came with it. So this is why I didn't use that. I had to clean this spindle up somewhat. This spindle's still rusty. This is the one that came out of there, so I banged that pretty good. It ain't going in there because it's got rust on it. I gotta clean that up. Anyway, where's the other one? Oh, it's down here. Oop. Alright, that's how fancy that goes. That's nice. So, and that's how it sits in there. So you put that keyway in there, and like I said, this is the only thing that holds your spindle in tight to the spindle mech, all the bearings, everything. Of course, your main bolts hold it all together, but this is what's holding the pulley on, and the spindle keeping it somewhat tight in there. So, like I said, once you bang that sucker in there, this is what it's going to look like. And give it a few whacks with that one there. It's not all the way down the keyway. The keyway will be a little bit in there farther down than the spindle. There it goes. This way you get your socket in there. It'll fit in there, and then once that starts banging down, then you use this one, like I said, and the keyway will pass there, like there. See that? And then boom. My hands are getting crappy again. Anyway, that's how you get off the spindle. And that's how you get the pulley off without damaging the pulley. Because like I said, these pulleys, friggin' ridiculous. 60 bucks. I think I try to buy one spare just in case I damaged it, but I refuse to spend money on a pulley just in case I couldn't get it off. It was so bad and frozen on there. I wanted just a spare, so in case if I damaged this, I would be able to get my mower going. But I took the chance of getting it off, and like I said, you need to cut a socket so the keyway can pass up through it while the spindle is banging down through the bottom. So that's how you get it off without damaging a $60 pulley, because this is the only type of pulley you can use, because it's got that keyway, it's got and a set screw that keeps this attached and tight to the spindle housing. But of course you have, your regular, this goes through the spindle and put the bolt up top of the washers. I noticed when these are spinning slow, you see a wobble. I saw a wobble in my, on top of the nut. It was just doing that stupid, little. I'm like, I wonder if these things are bent. This was two of these were slightly bent, and you could see the wobble. And I went to Tractor Supply. These are like 20 bucks off of eBay, original equipment. They're a grade 5, a thin, a fine thread. But at Tractor Supply, if you have one around near where you live, these are, I think, grade 8. I can't remember. No, grade 6, I guess. Grade 6 or 8. I can't remember. I think that's grade 6, but yeah. These are like with the nut and a couple lock washers. If you want to put a lock washer on, which I didn't. I think this was like, it goes by the pound there. I think it was $6 for all this stuff. And I bought 2 of them. So anyway, I switched to that because this had a bend in it a little bit. I guess something over the years you whack stuff, or the blade hits something and it just tweaks it, and then it gets a little out of shape. So anyway, that's what I did with those. Like I said, that's already been done. I did that one a month ago. And let me see here. So I'm going to put that back. That's the new spindle. And that's the one I did about a month ago. And that's the new one. I put new nuts on since I had them. I greased in there a little bit, keep the crap from getting in there. I'm going to re-grease it again. Because like I said, I did this yesterday. I mean, I did this, I started working on it yesterday. I would recommend, you know, greasing this up a little bit. Never sees inside of here. Put some never sees on that Allen set screw. That's in there, so that's the easiest way to get them off. Here's the ones I took out. This is the one I took out yesterday. It was making a noise. This one was really bad. That was making a lot of noise. The housings are still good, but they're just old. There's another my next one project. I'm going to do it. You could pop these out. This is a really bitch to get out. I was going to redo the bearings, but nah, don't bother. So anyway, that's how you get off the spindle without damaging the pulley. Like I said, you could torch this. If it's getting the bitch, you could put a torch underneath. There's nothing to damage in there. If that's on, you could torch underneath, spin it around while you're torching it, heat up that pulley, and then you know, bang it with that socket over there. And once you get it past there, this will slide through, and the keyway will come out. But this is the key. You can't use a full rounded socket. You need to cut a notch out of it. Like I said, I would have cut out up to here. But you got to find one that fits this pulley inside there and sits on top of that housing here. You know, something that sits on top of that housing, flush, nicely. You know, that's like a perfect fit. Oop. I mean, you can get buy single sockets cheaply. This is an inch. That's just a little. This is an inch, about a little less than an inch, because that needs to fit into here. That's an inch bearing. So if it fits inside this hole, that one's a little tighter over there. This is a little looser. So I don't know what the size is, the Williams, but anyway, the cutting wheel. Cut a notch out of it, and then, like I said, that will pass. The keyway will pass up into the socket, and this will bang down in the bottom of the mower. And once you get that going, you're home free. Leave this in while you're doing it. Do not loosen this up or take it off the mower. Leave your old one in still until you get this out, and then you can take off the old nuts and bolts and put your new spindle in. This, of course, is a blessing. Whoever made this, Jesus knew who they were. Anyway, that's the mower. Hopefully that gives you an idea how to get these out a little bit easier than I've seen guys, like I said, use pulleys. They bend this thing up and then you're done. Once you bend this thing up, I took a grinding, I cleaned up the pulley, get all the crap out of it. It was rusty. I had a sanding pad. I went in there and cleaned it all up very nicely. All right, I hope this helps. This mower runs excellent, even though it's about 20 years old. It's got the good old Kawasaki engine on there. I got the little stand on in the back. I keep it well greased, well oiled. New belts I just put on. I didn't put any dry belts on. Those are a fortune, but these are still working. Those belts are 20 years old and they still are doing pretty good. These pulleys on the back are getting a little bit wobbly, but they're still working. But I do maintain the best I can on this thing, and the big trick is you know, grease your bearings on all your wheels all the time. Keep these well greased, because you get a lot of life out of them. Anyway, hopefully that helps you. That's it.